Okay. Team Rotary and guests, it is game day and it's a big game today. So we're going to get started. So first of all, I would love to thank our greeters for today who were the students from Davis, Eisenhower, and West Valley. Thank you so much for greeting. Next, we are so very fortunate to have some very special music from Dana Jackson. Dana is a powerful Seattle-based singer whose voice has graced stages from Seattle Black Nativity to America's Got Talent. She currently performs in the annual production, The Songs of Black Folk, Music of Resistance and Hope, blending soulful expression with a deep commitment to honoring Black history, resilience, and joy through music. Dana.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us, facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. And please be seated. I was born by the river in a little tent. And oh, just like that river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. I go to the movie and I go downtown, and somebody tells me, stop hanging around. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Then I go to my brother. I say, brother, help me please. He knocks me back down on my knees. Oh, there were times when I thought I couldn't carry on. Oh, but now I think I can press on. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gon' come. Oh, yes, it will. Yes, it will.
Right? Let's hear it for Dana Jackson. Woo! Amazing. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate that. Woo! Could you just maybe come every week and sing every week? And we like to start our Rotary meetings with a little bit of inspiration besides what y'all just heard. And to do that, I am going to bring up Howard Head. And Howard is one of our very own downtown Rotarians. And Howard is with Quick Lock. Howard.
I think I got set up having to go to that, but that's okay. That's okay. Um, when you talk about inspiration and you talk about Black Heritage Month, I always go back to my family. And for me, this one was kind of easy. I went back to my grandfather because he's always been a big source of inspiration for me. The one thing that he used to say all the time that we used to battle about when I was a younger kid because I didn't understand it was if I didn't finish everything on my plate, he made me sit there until I did. And believe it or not, if it was dinner, if he let me go to bed, when I got up the next morning, that plate was sitting right there for me to finish it. So when I got older and I decided to ask him, I said, what is the deal about this? And he said, you got to think about the fact that where I came from, he was African American. Uh, he was living in the South. The majority of the business that was going on was working in the cotton field. And, he went to the military, but a lot of things were tough. And he felt like the only thing that he really strived for was to keep his family safe and secure. And part of that was making sure they were fed, right? So he's saying, if I worked hard and toiled to provide for you, then I want you to make sure that you take full advantage of it. Eat everything that's on your plate. And that kind of, when you look about it, it's not really a food thing. It's really a model for life. When you get opportunities, you got to take full advantage of it. You got to eat everything that's offered to you. And the only way that you can get any further is to make sure that you eat everything that you see in front of you. And you got to have mindful consumption too, because it's not a matter of just eating, it's a matter of how you eat. Because I'm pretty sure you'll hear in a minute from Ms. King that being the first, it puts a lot of eyes on you as well. You got to mind the way you eat and everything like that because it's going to reflect on everybody that comes before you or comes after you. So again, he just happened to be one of the first people that actually, and when you back in that time, the only job you could have was being a laborer in the cotton mills. But he kept pushing. He kind of leaned on the fact that he went into the service and he said, I'm a serviceman. I gave my life to the country. I think I deserve better than what you're offering me. And when they gave him the opportunity to do it, believe me, he ate everything that was on his plate. He learned everything about the machines and everything. And come to find out, 52 years later, when he retired, that he had been one of the first supervisors in that particular mill. So, and he was quite proud of the fact that he made a way for his family and he wanted to make sure that when I went on, I did the same thing. And I hope I honored him by doing that, by making sure that I ate everything on my plate going up, took advantage of every opportunity, and also did it in a way that it would reflect positive on my family and everybody else. So that's it.
Thank you, Howard. I love that. Mindful consumption. So, welcome, everyone. It is so very wonderful to see this room extra full today. If I could have all of our guests, those non-Rotarians, I know there's a lot of you, if you could please stand so we can acknowledge you here today. Come on. There we go. Look at that. Thank you all for being here, and thank you for standing up. We like to acknowledge you. So I am Sherry Bissell, and I am very proud and very honored. I say this every week, but I say it to myself every day, to be the 107th president of this downtown Yakima Rotary Club. Also the 5th woman president. I just had to throw that in there for Jennifer. Anyway. So we are the OG. We are the original Rotary Club that first started in Yakima. We were chartered in 1919. There are about 46,000 Rotary clubs worldwide, spreading across more than 220 countries with over 1.4 million Rotarians globally. We have in this club about 265 members, and currently, this club is the 22nd largest club in the United States and the 37th largest club in the world. And we are proud of that. Yeah. We are a very diverse club. Our club goes from age to backgrounds to cultures to occupations, you name it. We are diverse, and we like to celebrate our diversity. And that's what we're doing today. One of the things that we do today, but we've been doing this for 18 years. So this is our 18th annual Black History Month program. And that is another item that we are very proud of. We feel it's very important for us to recognize, respect, and value all of our unique backgrounds. My presidential theme for this year is Team Rotary. So as much as I'd like to say this little football and pom-poms are here just for you, Coach King, they're actually out every week. As we've had this conversation, I love football. I didn't fall in love with football at age 4 like you did, but I tell you that because a team is a team, right? We are all a team right now in this room. But I picked that theme also because it goes with Rotary International's theme of Unite for Good. Because what do you do when you're a team? You unite, whether you're playing football or whether you're a Rotary Club, inviting the community to come and listen to a very important speaker. So every Thursday at noon, we gather in the convention center. We leave any differences, any conflict we might have, our opinions outside these doors. And we gather together in this room so we can unite as a team, be the good and do good in this community and beyond. So thank you all for being here with us and being on our team today. We don't have any secret handshakes in Rotary. We don't have any strict attendance requirements. We're pretty easygoing people. So if you want to be on our team, if you want to learn more about Rotary, there are Rotarians here from the other 2 clubs as well, Sunrise Rotary, Southwest Rotary. We are all a team. Talk to any one of us, and we would be happy to tell you a little bit more about Rotary. And we'll draft you on our team too in a minute. Okay. Now, I would like to bring up Dr. Jim Wolport to say a few words. Jim is the president of Central Washington University, and CWU is our main sponsor for this program for today. So, Jim.
Greetings, everyone, and thank you for this opportunity to give you a quick update about things that's happening at Central Washington University, especially in relationship to your community. But before I do that, I want to share deep gratitude to the Yakima Rotary for this partnership in bringing in outstanding speakers like Jennifer King, an individual who has broken barriers in the pursuit of her dreams. And when I read her biography, I was reminded of a quote that I say often to our students. If your dreams don't scare you, they are not big enough. I so appreciate being provided the opportunity to hear for someone who has achieved an outsized dream. And in celebration of diversity, this is a large portion of why I am here. At Central Washington University, you may know almost half of our students are the first in their family to go to college. Almost half are students of color. Over half are from lower socioeconomic needs. So we really are serving a population of students different from everyone else. Our staff has become more diversified. Our executive leadership team is made up of diverse individuals. Half of the individuals on our executive leadership team come from diverse backgrounds. Almost half are women. We really do celebrate that, and we recognize that that diversity leads to innovation and creativity and a team spirit and problem solving. All right, 2 quick updates. Our Office of Business and Community Services, which we stood up a couple of years ago to be an outreach organization to help cities, counties develop their economy, has been working with Yakima and Kittitas counties to develop what's called a Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy, a CEDS. Without a CEDS in place, you cannot apply for federal funding from the U.S. Economic Development Administration to lead any kind of economic effort in your area. A CEDS identifies opportunities and barriers to economic development and creates alignment across the region so that you can then apply to the federal government for those sources. And the EDA is the organization that decides how big the CEDS region is. So they're the ones who said it's our 2 counties together. And I'm pleased to note that convenings led by John Smith and Joe Schmidt and Yana Cisneros from the Yakima County Economic Development Council occurred here in Yakima in November, and that provided the foundation for the CEDS that will be released in April. And I want to thank real quickly Yakima Valley College and President Teresa Rich for the partnership. They hosted that convening. Similar sessions are occurring up in Kittitas County now. They will take all of that feedback, share it back with you all, and then we will have a CEDS in place. This will open the door for tens of millions of dollars of economic development from the federal government in our region. Second, every time I come here, I talk about the relationship and partnership that Central has with the Yakima School District and Yakima Valley College to create an integrated and seamless pipeline of students into post-secondary education. What I mean by that is, can we make the transition from high school to college as seamless as the transition from middle school to high school? I want you to think about how innovative this is. When students go from middle school to high school, all they do is change buildings. But when they go from high school to college, they have this application and that application and this fee and that fee. Here in the Yakima Valley, we are taking all of those barriers down. We are taking barriers down so that if a student is enrolled in Running Start through Yakima Valley College or college in the high school through Central, the idea is that they're already a member of our community. They don't have to fill out any more applications, pay any more fees. They simply continue their journey at YVC and then at Central if they want to. I will tell you, it seems like an easy and obvious thing to do, but the bureaucracy at institutions of higher education is so enormous. We've had a team working on this for about 6 months. We've got about 6 months more to go. There are lots of high schools that do college in the high school through Central Washington University. They are looking for this similar opportunity once we get the kinks out. And just to let you know, Central Washington University is the 3rd largest provider of college in the high school in the nation. That's based on last year's data. We have grown by 50% this year. We will be the largest provider in the nation of dual enrollment programs at Central Washington University. And I want to say that that is true because the legislature now pays for college and the high school courses. In the past, students and their families had to pay Central for the tuition for that. That is no longer the case. A teacher is certified by us to teach an English class that counts for high school English and for Central English. The students don't have to pay for any of that. It is free to them and to their families. It's an amazing opportunity that really is creating that pipeline. And I want to give a shout out. I don't know if Trevor Green or Teresa Rich are in the audience, or either of you in the audience. Sometimes they show up to these or not. I will say they are such innovative, inspirational partners in this. Every time I meet with either one of them, it's like I've got 5 more things that I need to work on as president. And I'm so pleased that Teresa Rich was named the permanent president at YVC. She is such an inspirational leader. These 2 initiatives really are closely linked. We've been talking with business and industry for a long time about how we could get them to locate here to create really strong paying jobs in this region. And they always ask, will you have an educated workforce to sustain us? So we are working on that other piece of it. So these 2 initiatives really come together. Thanks for the invitation to provide a few remarks. And I really look forward to the conversation with Jennifer. She will be up on our campus later tonight, so I will get to hear her a couple of times. Thank you all so much for your partnership. Thank you for what you do. And thank you for being such a welcoming team. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Okay, now to introduce our speaker and the reason why this room is so full. I would like to bring up Erin Black. So Erin is a past president of this club. We call those Hall of Famers. And she's a current board director. She's the co-chair of the Mentorship Retention Committee, and Erin is with the Memorial Foundation. I'm going to move the podium back when I go.
Yeah. Thank you, President Sherry. Rotarians, what a pleasure to be able to introduce our speaker today. And before I get into the official bio, so you know all the stats behind Jennifer King, I just want to share appreciation. This is never a one-person job to pull this off. We have many, many people who participate, our sponsors. So can you just take a minute to stand up and be recognized if you've participated in our Black History, Hispanic Heritage, or any of our heritage events? Just take a moment to stand and be recognized. The other thing I want to make comment on is it's been such a pleasure to get to know Jennifer King. We met over Zoom, but in person last night. And I have to say, what a gracious, welcoming individual that we've invited to our community. And I appreciate your willingness to have us ship you all over the place in less than a day and a half. I mean, we're talking, she came in late afternoon yesterday and she hasn't stopped since. So thank you for your energy and your passion. So here we go into the official bio. Following a successful 12-year college basketball coaching career, which included a national championship and National Coach of the Year honors in 2017, Jennifer decided to step away from basketball to coach football full-time. After attending the 2018 NFL Women in Football Forum, she obtained an internship at the Carolina Panthers, where she worked consecutive off-seasons and pre-seasons with the wide receivers and running backs. King was the assistant wide receivers coach for the Arizona Hotshots in the Alliance of American Football and worked the 2019 season at Dartmouth College, where she worked with the wide receivers and assisted with offensive quality control for the 2019 Ivy League champions. In February of 2020, King became a full-season intern offensive assistant with the Washington Commanders. Her duties included working with the running backs and assisting with offensive quality control. Following the 2020 season, King was promoted to assistant running backs coach, making her the first Black female assistant coach in NFL history. In 2022, King broke down yet another barrier. She became the first woman to lead a position group at the East-West Shrine Bowl. The following year, she led the national team running backs group at the Reese's Senior Bowl. Following the 2023 season, Jennifer accepted an offensive assistant position with the Chicago Bears, where she worked with the running backs. During the 2025 off-season, she accepted an offensive analyst position at North Carolina Central University, where she currently works with the wide receivers. King played women's tackle football for 13 years as a quarterback. wide receiver and safety for the Carolina Phoenix, the New York Sharks, DC Divas, and DC Prodigy. She was named All-American on 7 occasions and has won 2 national championships. Let's give Jennifer King a huge Rotary welcome. And as she and our moderator come up, I'd like to make an introduction of someone who has no need of introduction, Mr. Eric Silvers. He is with State Farm. He has been part of Rotary for 28 years and 3 months. Sorry, Eric, I had to say it. Eric is also past president, and he represents our first African-American Rotary president here in Yakima. And we are so proud to have you in a leadership role with us. Thank you.
I didn't try to go straight into football after college because there was no representation. I was coaching college basketball and playing football. So I was quite good, but obviously I had to find a way to pay bills. And I started working with the police department. I've been on both sides. So I was a police officer, but I'm also blue black in America. 4 years later, I got a head basketball coach. The guy was down to West University in Charlotte, North Carolina. I got invited to the women's coaching forum. This is the NFL took on essentially identify women from around the world who want to work in football. The sports world is cutthroat, and you have to go in with a certain level of confidence about yourself. Are you willing to be so good if you can't be denied? Right now, I'm trying to invest around that whole attribute, like, period.
Wow, Jennifer. Wow, thank you. Thank you for coming to Yakima. You know, you've made history in a few areas that Black women have not been seen in. Has there been a moment in time when you realized that you were not only pursuing your own dream, but you were breaking barriers for those who were going to come after you?
Yeah. First of all, thanks for having me. It's been so fun to be here and meet everybody. It's a great city. But yeah, there has been times when I felt that, and I think, you know, first off, I didn't get into coaching football to be a first or to do special things other than make players better and win games. But ultimately, obviously, my work ethic allowed me to do something that no one's ever done before in my position. So I think initially I didn't realize the magnitude of it. I tell this story. It was so, you'd think it would be such a more exciting story when I got my promotion. But I never forget, we were playing the Giants that week. I was working. Our head coach comes by. He lets me know he's going to promote me next year. And I'm like, thanks. Like, thank you. I appreciate it. And I just went right back to what I was doing. Like, I didn't even think about, it never crossed my mind. And it still didn't cross my mind until they made the announcement. And it's like, wow, that's crazy to be a part of history. And I love history. So to be a part of it, it's definitely special. But I think now what's most important to me is to be a great leader, a great role model. You know, I say to be the representation that I didn't have. I think that's so important for me. I didn't have anyone that looked like me coaching in the league. I watched a lot of football growing up, you know, 4 years old, as we talked about, and I never saw anyone that looked like me. So I didn't think I could do it, to have that representation. And now being in the position, you know, I've been blessed to be in, I think it's important to be visible, and to really show kids and little girls that, you know, they're truly limitless. They can do whatever they want.
So how did you handle the pressure and the visibility that comes with being the first Black female NFL coach while you still staying grounded on the true meaning of who you are?
Yeah, I mean, I'm so chill and just relaxed. And I think that helped me, you know, and I come from a large family, and I have one sister, but you know, my secondary family is huge. And even though I've done this and I've been a first, Like on holidays, I get clowned just like everybody else. So my family will keep me grounded immediately if I ever think that I'm getting a little too big for my britches, as they say. But I think that it comes with how I grew up. My parents raised me to be thankful, to be humble, in the successes and the failures. And I think that's been important for me as I've grown, to deal with those pressures. And the teams have done a great job to shield things away from me as well, so I can stay focused on the job at hand. Because ultimately, that's what we are. We're coaches, and as you know, the coaching cycle is crazy. And we're hired and fired like no one else in this business. And they say, you're not a coach until you get fired. So I've been fired a few times with staff. So I think I'm definitely a real coach now. But that's where we are. And I think it's important to be that great role model as I just spoke about. But it's a weight that I don't carry lightly. I think it's so important to be here and to be in a community, just to be visible. You never know, some kid, they might be feeling hopeless or feeling that maybe their dreams aren't going to be achieved because they don't see it. So I want to be as much inspiration as I can.
Being a woman in a male-dominated industry, have you ever experienced any discrimination or unfair treatment? Was there ever a moment when you seriously considered walking away, and what ultimately made you stay and keep pushing forward?
Yeah, so I'm so thankful for the people that I've worked with that I haven't experienced those type of situations to my face, as I say. I don't know what goes on behind my back. But they've been fantastic. The players, I immediately learned when I got to Carolina, they just want to be better. Can you make them better? They didn't care where it was coming from. And I found a way to do that and teach them, because that's all coaching is teaching. So I was able to teach them and help them be successful, get new contracts, all those types of things. But that's so important as well that I acknowledge. At least I know some of my counterparts have had issues. But I think that's a testament to the men that I've worked with and the men that I've also coached as well. So for you fellas in the room, like, it's important for you all to be allies, and to support, because they didn't make it weird, so it wasn't weird for me to be in that space. So I think that was very important. What was the second part of the question? I'm sorry.
Yeah. You ever considered walking away?
Oh, well, Ernest and Janice King didn't make no quitter. So I'm definitely I'm definitely not gonna walk away.
So what leadership lessons did you learn the hard way, especially when you are often the only Black woman in the room?
Yeah, we spoke about, finding my voice. That was the biggest thing I learned, because when I started with the Panthers, I came over as the head coach, where I was the top dog of my own program. I ran it. And then I get there and I'm literally at the bottom of the coaching staff. And when I got there, it's not that I didn't know what to say. I just didn't know like when to say it. Trying to find my place there. And so I was really quiet. And ultimately the head coach, talked to me about it, to like, I brought you here for a reason, so do it. And I think that gave me the comfort to start speaking more and speaking up. So leadership wise, it's just finding a voice. I think that's so important. So many people, I think you feel a way about things that may be happening, or feel that, in your leadership role, things that you can do better, but you have to be able to communicate and talk to those people. And I think that was one of the most important lessons I learned just in life, was to be vocal now. So now I have no problem speaking up. I have no problem yelling at whoever I need to yell at, if it's, a player or whatever. But I'm thankful for him for challenging me to be more vocal with him.
So in 2026, why does representation, particularly in sports and in leadership, why does that still matter? And what do people sometimes underestimate about that impact that you have?
Yeah, representation is huge for me. I think, I remember growing up seeing like Jackie Joyner Kersee on TV and going out running, or seeing Zena Garrison play tennis. And I tell my parents, I want a tennis racket, and I was able to see those things. So I felt like I could do those things too, and it's just, I think now in the time that we live in, where so many things and diversity is trying to be diminished, as it's not a good thing. Like, it's literally one of the best things to me that we can have. And diversity makes excellence in my mind, because we're all so different, but we can all come together for a common goal, and that's what a team is. That's what we do all the time: is bring many different people from many different backgrounds together, and common goal is to win games, and we can do that. So I think that's why it's so important to me. And then me personally, as I spoke about being visible, because now I have an opportunity to be that Jackie Joyner Kersey for someone else. Um, and I mean, even people at home, they know I coach, but they still, when they see me on TV, text me. Like it's a game I coach. There's a chance I'm gonna be on TV.
Yeah.
I'm there. But they still text me. I saw you on TV. But that's like representation to me, because now their kids see it. I've had people message me about their daughter saw you and now she's interested in football, or she wants to play flag football now, or tackle football, whatever she wants to do. But it's literally because me doing my job, now people can see things that they weren't able to see before.
So who influenced you along the way, and how did that help you with being a mentor now and creating opportunities for others?
So I mentioned my parents earlier. So they were my first mentors. To this day, they still in my corner. And like looking back, like they did such a great job just raising me, like teaching me the right things to do. And like it resonated so much with the finish your plate, like because we did the same thing where I was from, and they used to give me the clean plate award when I ate all my food. I remember, you know. But I mean, I think, growing up that way, both of my parents worked hard to provide for me and my sister, and, to see their work ethic. And I talked about last night, they were just selfless. They would go to work all day, take me to 3 different practices after school, get home at 10 o'clock, and we do it again the next day. And, that stuff as a kid, you don't appreciate. And now as an adult, when I get off, I love nothing more than going home and hanging out. And they didn't get to do that. They sacrificed their time so that I could do that. My sister was driving at that time so that, she did her thing. But just there's so many sacrifices they made for me. And that's why now I think, as I have mentees, it's important for me as a mentor to be selfless to them. Because I'm standing on the shoulders of so many people to be where I am. So many people help me, even in small roles, to get to where I am. Even answering a text or a phone call, sometimes you never know what that means to somebody. And that's what I try to do to everyone I talk to now who has aspirations of coaching or working in sports. So I think that's one of the biggest things that I want to do, is help as many people as I can, just because I know there's so many people I'm standing on the shoulders of to be where I am now.
So, as we celebrate Black History Month, what advice do you have to our young Black queens, our young people, and who they can't see themselves in their dreams, but how do you hope that your story will contribute to the ongoing Black history narrative?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so important as a community to uplift youth. Whether there's programs for them, but just to keep them uplifted and encouraged. I had the pleasure of speaking this morning at a high school, and that was one of my messages: staying encouraged. It's so hard to be kids. It's a lot going on now for them. I don't know. They believe when I was in high school, I didn't have Instagram. So it was a lot easier for me. I just went to school and played sports and grew up. But now there's so many different areas that can pull them away from their goals and what they want to do, and make them feel like they're not good enough, when it's not true. Like, you are good enough. And I think that's something that I always tell kids, is that you're good enough, and never forget that you're here for a purpose. And usually that purpose is to do something special. And we talked about dreams being so big, right? That people laugh at you, those chuckle dreams. And it's important to have those. No matter, I know it's some older people in the room, it's not too late. If it's something you want to do, I pivoted at a late age for me, So I encourage everyone to just go after what you want in life, no matter age, circumstances, it doesn't matter. I want everybody to win. And I think that's one thing about the women coaches. We pull for each other. Like, obviously we could be up for the same job sometimes or anything, but like, I'm such a fan. So one of my colleagues, she won a championship with Tampa when they won. and I feel like I won. I'm in the house dancing. I'm happy for her, you know what I'm saying? Because she did that. I know how much work she put in to do that. So I was happy for her. And I think that's another thing as you grow, you're in competition, but you should cheer for each other as well. So I cheer for wins with my friends just like I cheer for myself.
Wow. Now we're going to open up for some questions. Questions from students, from educators, coaches, community people, community leaders. Feel free, if you have a question, go ahead and raise your hand, and we have some microphones.
Check.
Okay.
Good. Am I up?
Yep.
Thank you. Ms. King, thank you so much. My question has to do with running back coach, not female running back coach, but just a running back coach. As one who is interested in football but don't know the machinations, how does a running back coach make a running back better?
That's a great question. So one of the first things I tell the guys is a lot of being a great running back is using what got you to the NFL to start with. You know, your speed, your quickness, your toughness, that gets you there. So my job is to teach you how to be better. How can we put everything that got you here together to make you elite? And then of course we make them better physically. Strength coaches do a great job making them stronger and faster. But for us, how do we teach ball security, vision, knowing where a run is supposed to go? So we're not just out running wild. You know, if it's supposed to hit right here, why didn't it hit right here? That's the question. If it's there. So we teach all of that, we fix it, and then we pretty much, I always say on game day, we kind of pop the leash and just let them go. All the work that we put in during the week, but that's how we put them together and make great running backs.
Yes.
In your professional opinion, why do you think the Seahawks are going to win this weekend?
I didn't say that.
Man, I can't believe I got a question about this weekend. That's shocking. I do feel like they're the better team. But I will say, the NFL, it's truly any given Sunday. I've been a part of plenty of teams who were the better team that didn't win, and I've also been on teams that probably shouldn't have won, but we won. So if you find a way, I think it's going to be a great game. But at the end of the day, I do feel they are the best team. But you never know what's going to happen. So I'm looking forward to a great game.
Yes, sir.
Question I had was, what was the day-to-day like for you as a running back coach? Like, what, start and end of one day as a running back coach?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Because I always laugh because everyone just sees the game. You don't see everything that goes into it. And our days are very long, very, very long. You can't imagine how many times to myself I thought, oh yeah, this is what you wanted, so don't complain. So typically it depends on the team, your head coach, your coordinator, because everyone's different what time they want people in. Typical day though, I may be in 5:30 or so in the morning. We'll start working then, and then the players usually come in around 8, and we'll have a team meeting. Might have a install, walkthrough, lunch, practice. We meet again with the players, and then they're usually out by 5. And then the coaches will meet and prepare for the next day. And then usually it just depends on the day. I may be there till 11 at night. I've been there late. I've seen midnight before in the office. I know people who've stayed all night. I haven't done that yet, thank God. But it just depends on the day as well. So in NFL, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays are really big install days for the week. So then Thursday, sometime you get out at a decent time. And then everyone enjoys Fast Friday in the NFL because you usually get out around 3 or 4 o'clock, depending on who your boss is. But yeah, it's very, very long days that we do. So it's a lot that goes into those calls that you complain about on Sundays. So there's always a reason.
Yes, President Sherry.
How do you do? Congratulations on a really great career.
Thank you.
I have a question about the little people in our community, and you're talking to a community that has done tremendous things for youth in sports with very little, because we're not a community filled with Fortune 500 companies. So it's done off the backs of these volunteers to produce an amazing number of scholarship athletes. I'm the mother of a Tar Heel
Oh, let's go.
and a football player. So, but what would you recommend to this community that we absolutely need to do to have our young ones grow up with the vision and the strength and what you talk about with the work ethic?
Yeah, I mean, I think that starts so early with kids in sports. And it starts with having good coaches in place. Some of my first mentors were coaches. I started playing sports when I was 8 years old, like on a team. And I've been a part of a team ever since, every year. So I think that's important to build team building with kids and also letting them fail. I think now I see more and more kids that have never failed before. Um, and then when we get them in college or in the NFL, and you fail, and it's like a meltdown because it's never happened. So fostering growth through failure, I think is so important. Um, Everyone doesn't need a trophy, you know, that's for the winners. When I win my championship ring, I don't need the losers getting their rings too. I won it for a reason, you know. But I think that's important to foster the growth and positive mentors, people that they look up to, teaching them how to be better at their sport, but also just building life skills. That's why so many athletes are successful after sports, just because of all the life skills you learned. Like 5:30 is early to go to work every day, but I had to get up earlier than that in college for preseason workouts. So I've been doing that forever. Um, so I think you building that confidence, and I think with young women especially, I love to see little girls playing sports because it builds so much confidence. And flag football is here, so the faster y'all can do that, that helps as well because a lot of young ladies may not be good at the sports. They may not be good basketball players or softball players, but what you're seeing is they may be great flag football players. And now you have scholarships available for them to go to college. So just another avenue for them to be great and be successful and get education paid for in life. So just, wrap your arms around them and grow them and, teach them all those life skills. So when they're out in the world, hopefully, they've experienced, failures and losses and they're able to handle it and grow.
Yes, sir.
Have you had any aspiration to be a head coach or an offensive coordinator?
Great question. I definitely have had aspirations. I think it's hard to be on staffs for so long and not think about if you were, in that next seat over. That's kind of how basketball terminology. So basketball, I was in that second seat for a long time. Ultimately, I moved to the first seat. And it's something that I look forward to attempting to do. But I mean, also enjoying the journey along the way. I think that's something that's important is enjoy the journey. Obviously, I have an end goal, but there's a lot of fun things happening along the way that I should probably take more time to enjoy as well. So I'm working on that with myself. But yeah, I would love to do that one day.
Great. Question. Yes.
There we go. Over the last decade or so in the NFL, we've seen this shift away from valuing the running back position, right? Really about 5 years ago, it really started to hear people say it's just a replaceable position. As long as the offensive line and the quarterback are good enough, we can put another body in there if they can hit the hole quick enough. I feel like in the last couple of years, you've started to see that shift away, and I feel like people are starting to value the back position more. We see it with Kenneth Walker in Seattle, Jahmyr Gibbs in Detroit. There's some real impact guys. So being a running back coach, I'd love to get your take on where you see that position going. Do you believe that there's a shift in the NFL starting to value that position again more? And are they going to start to lean into, yeah, that's a real statement back that can change our team?
Yeah, I mean, we're back. I think it's with the evolution of offense, I think it's so much more important now to have running backs because we're so involved in the pass game as well. So when you look at a lot of elite backs around the league, they're able to play in the pass game. So obviously I was fortunate enough to coach Christian McCaffrey in Carolina, which kind of set a base for how I think about offense because we could line him up anywhere. He could run routes as good as our receivers. So to be able to use him everywhere is kind of a blueprint now for how people are using backs. But even, a back like Kenny Walker, who is incredible, you're probably not going to line him up all over the place, but you need the running back. like I'm sure you guys would feel a little worse about the game if he wasn't playing Sunday, right? So it's important. I think we're involved everywhere. We run the ball, catch the ball, pass protection is everything in the NFL because people are going to send the kitchen sink at you. Can you block it up? And even if you block it up, can you physically block who's blitzing? And that's something that we spend a lot of time working on. Running backs handle the football a lot, so ball security is also important. But yeah, I think the running back position, the resurgence, thanks to Christian, Saquon, Jameer Gibbs, like those guys show how valuable running backs can be, and that's why now they're back to getting drafted in the first round again, because they can be a game changer for your offense.
Knowing what you know now and having experienced what you've experienced through your life, if you could go back in time and talk to your young self, what would you tell your young self about? What advice?
That's wild because I think I would always just tell myself to like, it's okay to be the first. Like I went to basketball, successful, happy, but what if I would have just went to football from college, instead of taking that long period of time? That's what I would tell myself. It's just to try to do that right away. Because even in college, I would go watch our football team practice all the time. And when I first got out of college, I would go, I guess I was a volunteer. I would go help out at football practice after I graduated, but I was coaching basketball. So what if I would have just jumped right in right there? Where would I be now? So I think that's what I would tell my younger self. It's okay that nobody's doing it. It's okay to be the first.
Who were some of the role models or inspirations that you had growing up, and how did that affect your path in life and the visions you had for success, or how did a lack of representation affect that?
I think other than my parents, it was always athletes to me, just because the sports were so important. So I was a huge Bulls fan, obviously a kid growing up in the 90s. So I was like Michael Jordan out. Like I remember in 4th grade, we had like the state writing test, and all of our practice writing assignments we had, it was always about him. No matter how, no matter what the topic was, I found a way to like make it about him. And but I mean, that's who I modeled myself out of, and even like being like a little jerk on the basketball court at 8 years old because I saw him do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I was. But it was always athletes for me growing up because that's who we saw. We watched sports. Women athletes, we didn't see them as much, but I did see enough to know that I could be athletic, that I could play sports, and I wanted to be good. And then we had like the Charlotte Sting was a team in the WNBA at that time before they left, and like Dawn Staley was the point guard. So I've been like a Dawn Staley fan since I was a kid because I saw her as a kid, and I grew up a point guard. So it was important to be able to see that. So back to representation. Being able to see that again. So it was important to me.
Last question.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure for a last question.
You're welcome.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being an inspiration. I work in college athletics at the 2-year level, and maybe just some advice for us, even as a community too. We see this at the 2-year level, a lack of women coaches, and then also a lack of filling our women's rosters. What advice do you have for us to grow both of those? And what have you seen at your level that has been successful and supportive?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so important to have a pipeline if you're having trouble with that. And it starts with starting them young. Even if the kid may not like sports, throw them on the team and see if they like it or not. They may not. Or try another sport. Try this sport. Try another one. There's plenty of sports, and I think there's a lack of women coaches because there's not as many women starting younger. And I think there's been a gap. I think it's going to pick up now with the popularity of women's sports. I think it's going to be better moving forward, but we're in a gap right now where there's not a lot. And that's one of the things interesting to me coaching. So when I first started working in college, I worked with guys. They were the head coaches, coaching women. And the funny thing was when I got to in football, people always ask me do you go in the locker room? And no one ever asked them that question with us. I just thought it was interesting. And even when I was a head coach, we would go eat and they would always take the bill to my assistant because he was a dude. And it was so funny. But I mean, I think it's so funny it's so important to grow the young women to start that pipeline up again. And I mean, women's sports are taking off. And I think that's going to help a lot with coaches because it's going to bring more natural coaches when they get done playing what they're going to do. So shameless plug. This is very shameless, but not really. I'm part of an ownership group starting a women's sports bar in Chicago. So if you guys are ever in Chicago, make sure you come.
So Jennifer, do you mind afterwards if we can get some pictures together?
For sure.
And if there's any autographs or anything, to be able to have a person of this caliber, I'm so pleased with the Yakima Downtown Rotary, Central Washington University, and all the sponsors. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Give it up, Coach King. Yeah, I just don't want to fall off the back of the stage. I told her I got to move the podium. I don't want to fall off the back of the stage because, thank you so much. I should just. So yes, Coach King will be able to stay after for a little bit. So please feel free to take some pics and get some autographs. What an honor, right? What an honor to hear her story. So I want to thank our Rotary sponsors for making this possible, for Coach King to be here today, and for us to be able to share her, because we had a run-in as a running backs coach in the community with a lot of people. So Central Washington University, the OIC of Washington, the YWCA Yakima, Eric Silvers with State Farm, and the Dallin family, Quinn and Aaron, thank you very much for all that you guys did to bring her here. I also want to thank our planning committee really quick, led by Aaron Black. Eric Silvers, Anthony Peterson, and Ryan Anderson did a lot of work to coordinate all of this, so thank you all very, very, very much. And now at Central. So our next meeting is here in the Convention Center next Thursday. It will be a panel discussion of the state of agriculture in the Yakima Valley. This is something we try to do every year here because it's a very, very important topic. The panel will be our very own John Devaney, and he will bring along with him Bud Hollingberry, Jack Field, and Sarah Higgins. So feel free to join us for that. I end our Rotary meetings every week with what I call my play of the day. And today is actually one of my favorite quotes from Michael Jordan. And I'm telling you, Jennifer and I did not talk about this ahead of time. Like I just had this quote for a while, knowing she was going to be here, because it's all about breaking barriers. Obstacles don't have to stop you. If you run into a wall, don't turn around and give up. Figure out how to climb it, go through it, or work around it. So that is my play of the day for today, and just a little something for all of you to take with you today. Thank you, everybody, for being here, for choosing Team Rotary today, and for being in our game today with Coach Jennifer King. We appreciate you. And with that, this game is over.